I'm just Nick, and the sounds you've been hearing are coming to you courtesy of the Catalinbread Heliotrope pedal, which I want you to see the pretty graphics on. They always have really nice looking pedals, Catalinbread. This is a kind of a noise pedal, but it's unique among noise-ish pedals for a few reasons. And for me, the most important of these reasons is that it's particularly touch sensitive. It responds a lot, and in many cases much more than with other pedals, to what you're doing with your hands and the guitar, how you're mechanically manipulating the strings, how you're changing techniques. So very small differences in what you do with your hands can result in pretty significant changes to the sounds you get. For instance, just with how hard you pick. A lot of range there, and hopefully you got a sense of that in the playing I was doing earlier as well. The pedal is not a digital pedal, even though it's described as a harmonic pixelator, which would sort of suggest digitalness. It's an analog pedal. All the manipulation of the signal is being done in the analog realm. Frequencies are being subtracted and used to modulate the signal and so forth. The pedal sounds a little bit like a very extreme fuzz sometimes. It sounds a little bit like a ring modulator. It sounds a little bit like an extreme filter, but really it's none of those things, and is very interesting in the way it combines a lot of the characteristics of those types of effects. I want to run through the controls for you. You have a volume control, that's self-explanatory. Right above it you have something they're calling sample rate, and in the documentation for the pedal they explain that that does not mean it's a digital pedal. It's not really the sample rate. This knob controls what they're calling the frequency of the carrier frequency. What it sort of does, as far as I can articulate it, is it kind of sweeps a kind of resonant frequency that's being used to manipulate the dry sound. Let's see what that sounds like. If we pluck an open string, we'll start full counterclockwise and go clockwise. So you change a lot of the overtones and kind of resonances, frequencies as you do that sweep. There's a switch in the middle that relates to that knob, and it switches between a low and a high range for the sample rate knob. So let's hear what the high range sounds like. Same open string. Much higher resonances. Now, there's also a knob that they're calling resolution. And the way I've been thinking about this knob is that it controls the degree to which the pedal modulates the dry signal. It's not exactly what it does, but it's been useful for me at least to think about it that way as I've been messing around with the pedal. Let's sweep it from counterclockwise to clockwise. You get more conventional, less dissonant sound full clockwise than you do over here. So at full clockwise, we can even get some sounds that are, you know, fairly consonant. But at full counterclockwise, we're going to get a lot of dissonance. In fact, we're not going to get anything, so we have to change something else. Let's change that. So that's full counterclockwise, and we'll go back to full clockwise to hear this new setting. So that's even approaching kind of a normal fuzz sound, though it's kind of weird fuzz sound, we'll just say. Finally, there's a gain knob that allows you to adjust the amount of the distortion that this pedal is adding to the signal. At full counterclockwise, it's relatively clean. And most of that kind of breakup is coming from the sort of pixelation effect, for lack of a better term. And at full clockwise, we're going to get a lot more added distortion, harmonic distortion. But as you can see, none of these controls really respond linearly, and my descriptions are really kind of only partial. So it's the kind of pedal that you definitely have to play with and get a sense for yourself of you know, how it works and how to get the sounds out of it that you want. In summary, compared to many noise-making pedals and pedals that will give you out and dissonant sounds, this pedal is particularly responsive to your playing, and it's quite simple in terms of the number of controls, but has a huge range even with those few controls. So those are the things that I really like about this, and I actually think it is a good choice if you're looking to get into pedals that can create dissonance and out sounds and use them in both conventional and unconventional contexts. This is a really good place to start. It's very strong, powerful pedal, quite manageable in its operation, and very responsive to your playing. So I think it's super cool, and I think you should call up or email the guys at Rock and Roll Vintage, and they will hook you up. Finally, what is a heliotrope, you're asking yourself, and I was asking myself, so I looked it up. I knew there was a street in LA named Heliotrope, but I didn't know what it referred to. Sounded like it referred to the sun. In fact, a heliotrope is a plant with a pretty purple flower. It can also be used to refer to the color of that flower. And it also occasionally, apparently, refers to some sort of a surveying device or instrument that focuses the sun's rays, though I couldn't seem to get much of a read on exactly how that instrument worked or what purpose it served. If you want to know more about that, you look it up. You know what? Being as obsessive compulsive as I am, I'm probably going to go look it up now and try and really understand what they're talking about with the surveying instrument. But I'll go do that, and you go play your guitar, and until next time, I'll remain just Nick.